North Florida Folk Festival, the second annual, and hopefully we'll have many, many more. This next gentleman coming up here, Mike Campbell. First time I heard him, I said, wow, here's a real folk singer. You know, we all want to be folk singers, but somehow we end up Americana or a little jazz mixed in or country or something. This man right here is a true folk singer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Campbell. Yay.
Thank you, Emmett. You ready to go yet? Be trying another channel. While he's doing that, I'll do an acapella song for you. I moved down here from Alaska. In Alaska, where it actually does get cold. I heard some Floridians cursing the cold last winter, and I'm still out there in my bathing suit, you know, jumping in a cement pond. And strumming. Nothing yet, dear. So anyway, in Alaska, I worked outdoors all year long, and one of the things that we wear up there is very warm clothes. And one of the brands of clothing that I liked was Carhartts. They're made in, I think, upper Midwest, and they sell a whole bunch of them up in Alaska. So I wrote this song in the key of A flat. It's an odd chord or odd key for somebody to write a song in. But I wrote it in A flat because I was changing A flat when I wrote it. I was driving to Glen Allen in my big 10-wheeler truck when the new snow on the road caused me to slide off and get stuck. I was not worried, for I had been a Boy Scout as a lad, and I brought along my Carhartts if the weather should turn bad. So I put on bunny boots and donned bib overalls and coat. I bought them down at Brewster's and they kept me warm as toast. The bunny boots were snowy white, the Carhartts tawny brown, and dressed as warmly as can be, I started off towards town. Now I'd gone about 3 miles when it began once more to snow. Coming at me from the north, a chilly wind did blow. This inclement stormy weather made it hard for me to see. I decided just to wait it out beneath an old spruce tree. 'Twas then I saw the hunters in their camel-colored deuce. They were pointing rifles at me and were shouting, "There's a moose!" I waved my arms to warn them off, to show them it was me. Then I realized this probably looked like antlers in the tree. Well, then suddenly a bullet struck the branch above my head. If I'd stood there any longer, I am sure that I'd be dead. Shots landed all around me as I slid down the ravine and took off running fast as any track star you have seen. I was sprinting hard to stay ahead, to keep from getting killed, and with all of this exertion, well, I was no longer chilled. So I peeled up and tossed away my dear old Carhartt coat, and as it fell, 4 shots rang out and blasted it to smoke. Now I kept on running even when the hunters lost their chase, and I credit my survival near entirely to haste. But I heard them cheering loudly as I crested o'er the hill, congratulating each other on the Carhartt coat they'd killed. Yes, I think back now and then about how close to death I came, and of how much brown duck canvas can resemble antlered game. So, to make sure that my body never does become extinct, all the clothes I wear into the woods are now fluorescent pink. And somewhere in America, just where I cannot say, there is a big game hunter with a trophy from that day. I know it's stuffed and mounted on his wall so he can gloat and tell stories of his courage when he killed my Carhartt coat. Oh, don't encourage him, he'll just keep going. Get the guitar yet?
Yeah.
Come on, come on. I just put a new battery in it. And we got a nice hum. Campbell, I'm Scottish by heritage, and we always like those drone sounds in the background. How about we just get another microphone on, and we'll just mic the guitar, and I'll do fine.
Mine?
What? No.
You want to play my guitar?
No, I don't ever want to play your.
Pull that cable. Pull that cable, I'm sorry.
Before you start,
Okay.
could you please announce that the last museum tour for today is at 4 o'clock?
May I have your attention, please? The last museum tour of the day, 4 o'clock, coming up soon. Where they go?
To the store.
To the store.
And it's $5.
Costs $5, and it's well worth it, I'm sure.
It sure is. Thank you very much.
That's all right. Just trying to get this thing. What are you going to do? You're the sound guy, I'll let you do it. I never have trouble hearing myself. I wonder what it'll all look like when I land my ship on Mars. Will the sun shine bright, and in the night will I see the moon and stars? When I take my walkabout, I wonder what I'll do if I should see coming right at me a bright green kangaroo. So come to the Martian outback, come share this life with me. Just take my hand with yours, my dear, we'll see what we will see. Lum-ba-da-dum-ba-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum. As I stroll along the canals on Mars, I'll see yellow platypus, and will blue Martian koala bears have 6-inch ivory tusks. And when I come to a billabong, I'll stop and rest a while beneath the leaves of a red gum tree like a Martian crocodile. So come to the Martian outback, come share this life with me. Just take my hand with yours, my dear, we'll see what we will see. Dum-ba-da-dum-ba-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum. We could both be Martian swaggies with our gear inside our packs, and everything that we might need will be stuck upon our backs. Perhaps I'll find a bit of land at the edge of a canyon wide. I'll build a Martian outback hut so as I can live inside. It'll have a hammock for when I sleep, porch and a rocking chair. But I could never call it home till you are with me there. So come to the Martian outback, come share this life with me. Just take my hand with yours, my dear, we'll see what we will see. Yeah, come to the Martian outback, come share this life with me. Just take my hand with yours, my dear, we'll see what we will see. We'll see what we will see. We'll see what we will see. Oh, thank you. Do you have a guitar at all? Okay, good. 39 and a half years ago, I asked that lady to marry me, and she said she would. Fooled the hell out of me. But I wrote her this song, and I sing it to her every now and then so I can remember, so she can be remembered that I wrote this song for her and I don't have to buy her flowers. I'm a cheapskate. So long ago when you and I were young, dear, I asked you to be my bride. And we were so pretty, you were so pretty, and I was so happy to have you walk by my side. And when I put that ring on your finger, I promise that we'd never part. Looking back on the years, I'm telling you, dear, these words come from my heart. You're the love of my life, little darling. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. You're the sparkle of light that is there to ignite all of the stars in the heavens above. Together we faced all our troubles, and together we've shared all the pain. We've had lots of fun, we have danced in the sun, and we've walked hand in hand in the rain. Well, now sometimes the waters were troubled, and sometimes the waters were calm. Sometimes our boat would leak just a little, but we kept each other warm. And through the years we've stayed together. I love you even more today. And if I had to live my life over again, I wouldn't change a single day. So happy anniversary, darling. I hope that you'll always be mine. We've had a good life as husband and wife, and I love you till the end of time. 'Cause you're the love of my life, little darling. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. You're the sparkle of light that is there to ignite all of the stars in the heavens above. Together we've faced all our troubles, and together we've shared all the pain. We've had lots of fun, we have danced in the sun, and we've walked hand in hand in the rain. Yeah, we've had lots of fun, we have danced in the sun, and we've walked hand in hand in the rain. We bought a house down in Florida. We moved down here from Alaska after we both retired from our jobs up there, freezing our tushies off. And we have now, well, see, we met down in southwest Arizona. And then when we moved to Alaska, they said we were moving from the frying pan into the freezer. So I guess now we're moving down to the sauna. I like the sauna. Let's see. We got a little group of chickens that we raised in the house for eggs, and we were driving up to a place to buy some chickens, and my wife and I decided we were going to write a song about chickens, wasn't it, dear? So we didn't know. So we used to raise chickens back in Arizona. So anyway, we kind of knew what we were getting into, but we didn't want a rooster. Oh, Jimmy was a barred rock rooster. He lived outside in the yard. In any kind of weather, Jimmy had a pretty feather, but living with Jimmy was hard. He was always great with the chickens, seemed to have a pretty good head. But every morning at 4 a.m., Jimmy would wake us out of bed. There's a whole lot of squawking and a whole lot of talking. There's a whole lot of sticky chicken poo. But the worst thing about having chickens in the yard is Jimmy's old cock-a-doodle-doo. This is your part. Doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. Try that. Doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. You'll get it. It's not that hard. Now the neighbor on the right was William, and the neighbors on the left was Vi. The neighbors in the back, they were Jill and Jack, and they all wanted Jimmy to die. For he kept them up every morning. They were not very happy, you see. And Vi and Bill and Jack and Jill were getting pretty mad at me. There's a whole lot of squawking and a whole lot of talking. There's a whole lot of stinky chicken poo. But the worst thing about having chickens in the yard is Jimmy's old cock-a-doodle-doo. Doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. I tried to be a good neighbor. I invited them over for a keg. I mowed their lawns, and every week I gave them each a dozen fresh eggs. And next year under my Christmas tree, much to my surprise, I got a hatchet from old Jack and Jill. I got a roasting pan from Vi. Got a summons from the city. That was William's work, you see. 'Cause he don't like noise and he don't like Jimmy, and he sure as hell don't like me. There's still a lot of smoking and there's still a lot of talking and there's still a lot of stinky chicken poo. But thanks to all of my neighbors, there's no more cock-a-doodle-doos. Doodle-doo, 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 doodle-doo. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo. You ever hear of the Civil War? Never? Okay. Look, do you know where the last battles of the Civil War were fought? In Alaskan waters. True story. The Confederates had a ship called the Shannon Door, and they sent it up to Alaska to wipe out the Yankee whaling fleet, to put pressure on the North to end the war. And so they were up there wiping out whalers when the war ended in April of 1865. But they didn't hear about it for a couple of months. And so in August, they finally realized that they weren't supposed to be killing anybody anymore, and they headed for home. No one had ever written a song about the Shenandoah that I know of. So I did. I am a Confederate sailor man, roll on Shenandoah. I'll fight them Yankees wherever I can, roll on Shenandoah. In 1864, we bought from England a ship of war. We named our ship the Shenandoah. Shenandoah, roll on home. Roll on, Shenandoah, roll on home. We sail around Good Hope to Australian shores. Roll on, Shenandoah. We burned their ships, now we'll burn some more. Roll on, Shenandoah. To Alaska, where ice and the sea are one, where Yankee whaling songs are sung. They are no match for this ship's guns. Shenandoah, roll on home. Roll on, Shenandoah, roll on home. Our Captain Waddell, he is brave and true. Roll on, Shenandoah. He fought not knowing that the war was through. Roll on, Shenandoah. 38 ships as war trophies, 1,000 prisoners taken at sea. But the war is lost, now our ship must flee. Shenandoah, roll on home. Roll on, Shenandoah, roll on home. So we sailed with speed around Cape Horn. Roll on, Shenandoah. It's death for us all if we try for home. Roll on, Shenandoah. Too many months we have not touched sand. For too many months we have not touched sand. If we get caught, so it's England shore where we must land. Shenandoah, roll on home. Roll on, Shenandoah, roll on home. There are Union ships searching high and low. Roll on, Shannon Door. They're merchants rail that our ship must go. Roll on, Shannon Door. They call us pirates and they scream. If we get caught, we'll be hung, it seems. But they'll only catch us in their dreams. Shannon Door, roll on home. Roll on, Shannon Door, roll on home. Roll on, Shannon Door, roll on home. Thank you, very kind of you. I want to send appreciations out to the North Florida Folk Festival folks for inviting me to come down here. I'm fairly new to Florida. I've been here a couple of years. Yeah, I'm still making slips. I do have some CDs available on the thing. I've been writing them for a number of years, and I'm here forever now. I'm never leaving. I like to sweat. I haven't written a whole lot of Florida songs yet, though. I did write one. Let me see if I can put this one together. How's this go? There is a Florida sky every morning. It will rise to a light misty haze, and the colors at dawn are enough to live on for all of the rest of our day. I will sit out and watch every morning with some coffee out on my lanai. And whatever this day brings me, there's nothing can faze me. I've got my Florida sky. My love and I living our lives under Florida sky. On the horizon I see a storm. It's building fast, coming on strong. And the wind seems to ask, have I finished my task? Should I stay or should I move along? As the thunderstorm swirls around me, I am filled with this glorious high. And that rain, wind, and flash, and a thunderous crash, they're a part of my Florida sky. My love and I living our lives under Florida sky. I've lived in the desert, I've lived in the forest, I've lived on the mountains so high. But sunshine or starlight, morning or twilight, they can't touch my Florida sky. As the quiet of evening approaches, I watch as the sun's going down. I will sit on that strand where the water and sand, where the colors like they were a gown. The horizon's on fire with crimson. There are scarlet clouds rolling by, and nothing else matters but the wind and the water and that glorious Florida sky. My love and I living our lives under Florida sky. Living our lives under Florida sky. I promise I'll write some more. Now this next song is one that I wrote when I was up in Alaska. There's 5 different types of salmon up there, and catching salmon was a personal hobby of mine. And somebody, after years of writing songs up there and singing at festivals and all sorts of places, somebody said, "Hey Mike, you don't have a salmon song." So this is the one I wrote. I've been swimming in the ocean for about 4 years. It's really kind of boring 'cause there's nothing doing here. I cruise around all day, I watch the other fishes swim. I think it might be time for me to head back home again. There is a little place upstream that I've been dreaming of. I believe I got a case of that salmon love. I said, oh my, just look at my size. I am so much larger than when I was a fry. Oh my, like a streak in the sky. I'm fast, strong, and handsome. Through the water I fly. Fishing boats are dragging their nets on the tide. There doesn't seem to be any place I can hide. Thousands of my buddies are getting caught every day. But I'm gonna get through, I know I'll find me a way. And now I'm in the river and I'm headed for home. 'Cause this salmon love, it just won't leave me alone. I said, oh my, gotta jump real high. A waterfall is coming, Lord, I wished I could fly. Oh my, now what else do I spy? Why, it's a grizzly bear who's got a hungry look in his eye. Salmon love is driving me to swim upstream. But living like a salmon, boys, it ain't what it seems. There's fishermen on every bank as far as I see. All of them are trying to get their hooks in me. There's a spinner in my dorsal and a fly in my tail. I think every single fisherman belongs in jail. I said, oh my, I see with my eye all the pretty colors of those fishing flies. Oh my, now I really must try. I have got to get to heaven before I can die. Salmon love, you see, it is a terminal disease. But it doesn't make me shiver and I hardly ever sneeze. It turns my body bright red, my head and fins turn green. My upper jaw gets snaggled, Lord, I look so damn mean. But if I can find a place to spawn with the moon up above, then I won't mind terminating from salmon love. Yes, if I can find a place to spawn with the moon up above, why then I won't mind terminating from that salmon love. I wrote this song so that a friend of mine wouldn't have to suffer in silence. I went to the bar after working all day and ordered a cold Guinness stout. But the yuppies were chatting so thick on their cell phones, the barman did not hear me shout. He brought me a glass and a bottle of Bud and set them down in front of me. Well, I coughed and I spluttered in pure disbelief and sang out this chorus with glee. Oh, put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale. It's not the right flavor for me. The color's all wrong and there's not enough foam and it's got all the kick of wheat tea. Now pour me a pint of that good Guinness stout with color you cannot see through. Put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale, boys, and pour me a beer that is true. Brass section. when the waitress came by. When I'd finished my first one, an angry young woman named Jill. She snatched up my empty without even looking and went off to find a refill. And she brought back a glass of some pale liquid garbage and said, "Here's the bud you asked for." Well, I gave her a glare that would knock down a horse and sang out this chorus once more. Oh, put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale. It's not the right flavor for me. The color's all wrong and there's not enough foam, and it's got all the kick of wheat tea. Now pour me a pint of that good Guinness stout with color you cannot see through. Put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale, boys, and pour me a beer that is true. So if ever you're seeking a beer with good flavor to finish your day or your meal, if they serve you a Miller's, a Coors, or a Bud, or some other brand that ain't real, if the king of beers is your only selection, I hope that you'll answer like this. Put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale, boys. I won't drink 12 ounces of that lousy beer. Put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale. It's not the right flavor for me. The color's all wrong and there's not enough foam, and it's got all the kick of wheat tea. Now pour me a pint of that good Guinness stout with color you cannot see through. Put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale, boys, and pour me a beer that is true. Put that Budweiser back in the Clydesdale, boys, and pour me a beer that is, pour me a beer that is, pour me a beer that is true. Because I'm on my last song. Let me see what I got I know. Okay. I won't talk to it. There's another song I wrote from Alaska. In 1964, the largest earthquake ever to strike the American continent struck Alaska in the Gulf of Alaska. 9.2 on the Richter scale, caused enormous damage and a tremendous tidal wave that went down to California and killed people in Crescent City, California. The tidal wave did. Very devastating. And so naturally I wrote a funny song. This is a true story though. The fellow that I wrote this song about told me this story and I verified it before I wrote the song. Little Jim, he was a fisherman and a good man through and through. But when each time Jim docked in port, he was known to drink a few. In the 26th day of March, back in 1964, little Jim tied up to the Kodiak pier and headed for the bars on shore. Little Jim tied up to the Kodiak pier and headed for the bars on shore. In the wee hours of the morning, with a stumble in his stride, Jim staggered back to his ship so he could sleep through a few high tides. His head so filled with whiskey, in his cabin he laid down and slept like a babe in his mother's arms when the earthquake hit that town. Jim slept like a babe in his mother's arms when the earthquake hit that town. Oh, the damage was enormous, 9.2 on the Richter scale. And the people cried as the building shook and the sea began to boil. All the sirens, they were screaming as the tidal wave came near. When the water rushed out of the harbor, every face was filled with fear. But still Jim kept on sleeping while his lines all broke away, and his ship settled down in the Kodiak mud on the bottom of Chiniak Bay. Jim's ship settled down in the Kodiak mud on the bottom of Chiniak Bay. Then the tidal wave came crashing in with a great unearthly roar, scooped up Jim's ship like it was a toy, carried it over the shore. It skittered right down the street, crashing into cars and walls. But Jim was used to Alaskan storms, and he slept right through it all. Little Jim was used to Alaskan storms, he slept right through it all. Many ships were torn apart that day, many lives were lost. But little Jim's ship was gently placed in the middle of a parking lot. Now several hours later, when his bladder did prevail, little Jim woke up to nature's call, and he stumbled to the rail. He stared at all the damage, and his blood ran cold with fear. Oh Christ, said Jim, how could I have been so drunk to have driven her here? Oh Christ, said Jim, how could I have been so drunk to have driven her, drunk to have driven her, drunk to have driven her here? Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. I do have CDs available. One more. Which one you want?
I don't know, one that's like 5 minutes or less.
Well, all of mine are 12 minutes or less.
I
Yeah.
know, I know.
All right, one more. All right, I'll sing you a sad.
What about the dog?
No, I don't want to sing that. What dog? I don't have a dog song.
Did you make the race?
What?
About the race, where you put the dog on?
Oh, the Iditarod. Well, you've heard of the Iditarod, right? All right. There's a race across the frozen snow. It's run from Anchorage into Nome, across a land that was built by God. Race they call Iditarod. I run that race myself 3 times. When I'd lose, I'd start to cry and figure I'd never race again till I found me a way to win. Iditarod. This is your part. Iditarod. Ooh, Iditarod. So I got me a mail-order PhD in biomedical genealogy. I needed dogs that were fast and mean. I started into splicing genes, got chromosomes from a thoroughbred mare, pit bull, cheetah, and a grizzly bear, Addison, Wolverine, and gazelle. A little bit of roadrunner. What the hell? Iditarod. Iditarod. Ooh, Iditarod. Then I spliced them all to some husky genes. That was just enough to make me a team. Crossed my fingers, then I made a wish. Tossed each one in a petri dish. Well, 3 months later, them pups were born. They had spotted hair, hooves and horns. They were big and mean and awful strong. And each one thought I was his mom. Iditarod. Iditarod. Ooh, Iditarod. Well, finally race day came around, and I brought my hybrid team to town, and we went running off down the street with a growl and a whinny and a beep beep out of the silver in a connect, running so fast it's making me sick through yet and squinting the mountains high. We were third into Nikolai. Iditarod. Iditarod. Ooh, Iditarod. Then we were arrested for 24 in McGrath, out of O for moving fast, underneath the sky so blue, out of Caltag, number 2, against the wind across ice so thick, first place in the shack to lick. But while we were running along, I could tell there was something going wrong. Iditarod. Iditarod. Ooh, Iditarod. So I set up my electron microscope, gave one of my dogs a needle poke, put some blood into that machine, but then I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The gazelle genes were starting to shake. The bear genes wanted to hibernate. Thoroughbred genes still wanted to run, but each of them Wolverine genes were done. Iditarod. Iditarod. Ooh, Iditarod. They were flopping around like a bunch of bats. Their insides fighting like dogs and cats. There were facial tics and burps and farts. Their double helix was falling apart. At safety, they gave a mighty roar, broke their lines, and away they tore out across the tundra gray, and each just 16 different ways. Iditarod. Iditarod. Ooh, I did a ride. So I pulled that sled all on my own. I was 64th under the dog marching gnome. And not one single dog was left of the team that I thought would win that test. But I know they're out there still, they'd be too difficult to kill. You need 14 tags and permits too, like getting permission to shoot a zoo. So if you ever run into my hybrid beast, take a photograph at least. Give them my best as they run by. Let them know that the mom says hi. I did a ride, I did a ride. Ooh, I did a ride. One more time. I did a ride, I did a ride. Ooh, I did a ride. Thanks again.